Alright, hey everyone, it's me again, back with another sound design tutorial. This time I'm going to be talking about a sort of metallic, screechy, grindy sound in my last track, Divergent. I'll play it first in context for you and then show you how it was made, so here we go. Okay, so what we're talking about is this guy, the grindy thing. Right. So what this is there's two layers. I'll talk about the main one first, and I'll talk about the other layer later. This is a Serum sound like everything else. So what we've got here is, this is the principal idea of the sound is FM, and then some reverb filter, and then some more reverb filter, and that's what really gives it that like nasty sort of sound. Solid, yeah, it's solid. Here's what it sounds like by itself. Okay, maybe you could see I've got this macro down here, and what I do is I switch from here to here to here to here to here a couple times, and that's what makes it sort of do that like switching off thing. So that's attached to this cutoff on the reverb filter, and you know, the detune on the hyper a little bit, but basically the big thing is it's attached to this cutoff. So yeah, that's what that change sort of is. But the actual sound, I take a square, so a square saw, but it's all the way to the left, so it's basically a square. And then I have the sine wave that's up 2 octaves from this guy, and then 7 semitones. And then I FM this square by this guy. So without the filter and without anything else, that sounds like this. So that's just your standard sort of FM sound, right? And then if I leave this reverb filter off, but leave this one on, okay, and then if I turn this one on and this one off, oh, whoops, jump back to the beginning of the song. So you can see that they really sort of work together to make that sound, and both of them are kind of necessary. As a bonus, if I turn off this FM thing, sounds real gross. Anyway, so square FM by 7 semitone up, sine wave, into the reverb filter. It's super far down on the cutoff, and then I modulate the cutoff. So basically this is going to mess up your pitch real bad. You can see the phases get all screwed up. This just destroys your sounds. If you really want like a messed up, gnarly sort of sound, maybe go to this with like comb filters or something. And then I also threw in some pink noise for good measure, just to make it, I don't know, more noisy than it already was. This other reverb filter cutoff's way down also. Not quite as far down as this guy, because this is pretty much at the bottom, but it also drives up a little bit. But yeah, it's still pretty far down there. So the farther down you bring it, the more it's going to like destroy your sound and make it metallic, screechy sounding. So this other stuff is just sort of my standard effects chain. Hyper with a little bit of modulation like I talked about before. And actually, let me show you the modulation. That's this guy. So it's on, off, on, off. And that's usually what I do with it. So I just kind of played with it until it sounded nice. Or, you know, bad, but like in a good way. Distortion, you know, the usual. Turn the drive up a lot on tube. Flanger, phaser, chorus, all just sort of not really doing a whole lot. I turn the rates off, and just kind of have it there to put more holes in the sound. I usually do that. Multiband, compressor, and yeah, so pretty much bulk of the sound. FM square by sine wave, reverb, reverb again. Everything else is just sort of fluff. Let me show you what these do to the sound though. So here it is without any of the fluff stuff. Okay. With hyper. So you can hear it sort of make it wider, right? And then distortion. Makes it like brighter. Flanger probably won't do a whole lot. And same thing for the phaser. I doubt it'll do much. Right. So this compressor just sort of compresses it a little bit. It actually doesn't have as extreme of an effect on the sound as it does on like most other ones, because it's already so messed up already. It doesn't seem like it does that much to it, but basically distortion, flanger, phaser, chorus didn't do a whole lot. Hyper makes it a little bit bigger, and then you've got this filter that I talked about. So on the mixer, we've got saturation knob, dimension expander, an EQ to cut out the lows, and then just this thing in mono low end. None of this is doing anything other than that. Right. So again, the saturation knob I just kind of put on everything. There's probably not even an intelligible difference there. Dimension expander makes it a little bit wider, so I'll AB that. You can feel it sort of widen up a little bit when you turn that back on. Alright, so then we go to this other layer, right? And this other layer is a very similar sound. You can see it's kind of the same, right? It sounds like this. Right. So the other metal thing, the main sound, is just sort of like in the center, right? I mean, it's a little bit wide, but it's not like super wide. So I wanted something to kind of complement it that's also screechy, but a different kind of screechy in the sides a little bit more. So it's another square, but different wavetable. The same saw or sine thing going on. Very similar reverb filter, cutoff's a little bit more, and it's not modulated, but you know, same basic idea. It's FM'd. I think this is an octave lower than the other one was. The other one was at -1, this one's at -2. So it gives it that like nasty sort of feeling. And then again, this is just, I think, the exact same effects chain. I might have just cloned the other one, except minus the other filter, right? So that's what made that sound. It's the same effects chain, you know. So yeah, that's pretty much it. And then with this guy, you can hear that sort of pads the sides a little bit. But yeah, I mean, that's pretty much the end. I put a little bit of reverb on these guys just to make it, you know, fill more space, and sidechained it and stuff. So that's it. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe if you want to see more tutorials like this. Thanks for watching. I'll see you next time.